the administration's asked the court to limit the ability of lower courts to block a president's order.
What they're doing instead is taking a look at something that is an increasing problem, and that's the issue of injunction. Essentially, Republican and Democratic administrations have long opposed this idea that one federal judge can set policy for the entire country.
The federal judiciary says more money needs to go towards keeping judges safe. Stacey Lynn has that.
In a letter to Congress, it's asking for more funding to keep the federal courthouses safe at a time when threats have escalated. They call the current funding levels unsustainable, nearly $50 million less than what the courts requested just for security. More than 6 judges handling lawsuits against the Trump administration are already receiving enhanced online security screening. That typically includes scrubbing their personal info from the internet. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Hamas says it won't accept the latest ceasefire offer for Gaza because it does not include the withdrawal of all Israeli troops. The BBC's Gary O'Donoghue.
This is Hamas formally rejecting the latest Israeli offer on the table, and that involves a 45-day ceasefire in return for the release of 10 of the remaining 59 hostages inside Gaza. Other elements of that deal would have included the release of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails and some aid being allowed back into Gaza.
In Jerusalem, the new U.S. ambassador made his first public appearance. Mike Huckabee appeared at the Western Wall, where he inserted a prayer handwritten by President Trump. Pope Francis is not following doctors' orders as he recuperates from double pneumonia. CBS's Chris Livesay tells us he was inside a Rome prison yesterday in an annual tradition.
To add another twist to this story, we've got J.D. Vance, who has arrived in Rome today for Easter weekend. He is, of course, Catholic, and there's been a lot of security helicopters flying over it.
The Pope spent more than 5 weeks in the hospital. This is CBS News.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. From the downtown Valley Law Group Intramural Studios.
This is Southern California's news.
KNX News, 97.1 FM.
12:03, good afternoon. I'm Margaret Carrero. Southern California Edison's towers from Eaton Canyon are going to be taken down and moved. Preserve them as evidence in lawsuits over the Eaton fire. The plan is to start removing them next week. They're going to have helicopters lift the towers after the power lines are lowered. The deadline to get this done is quickly approaching. It is May 1st. That way, SCE can start working to restore power to the area. Plaintiffs in the lawsuits argued that the fire may have started from electrical faults on SoCal Edison lines during high winds and claim the utility failed to shut off power even after warnings. The outcome could lead to billions in damages. The case is being launched due to its possible impact on SCE's future and wildfire liability. Is there any way that Los Angeles can avoid laying off thousands of city employees as it tries to deal with this billion-dollar budget deficit? Greg Fignan reports from City Hall.
Monday officially kicks off what's expected to be several weeks of contentious debate over the Los Angeles City budget, a budget facing a projected billion-dollar deficit in the upcoming fiscal year, which begins July 1st. On Monday at noon, Mayor Bass delivers her State of the City address. She'll also release her proposal for the budget. It'll be her attempt to close that billion-dollar gap. That will be followed by weeks of passionate debate by Los Angeles council members and members of the city's budget committee. They include Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. Are you hopeful that Monday's budget announcement will be optimistic, or will there be any optimism?
You know, while hope springs eternal, I'm unfortunately also aware of the situation that we're in, and I think it is highly unlikely that we will have anything other than a very painful budget proposal that includes layoffs, service cuts, you know, just a very grim picture of where we are. We're looking at all sorts of sources. We're still also hoping that the state will come through with some funds that could help stave off some of the worst of the cuts.
A top city staffer has already informed city leadership that the billion-dollar budget deficit will force the near inevitability, those were the words, that thousands of city employees will face layoffs. The mayor has told KNX News she's aiming for a budget proposal that averts layoffs. At LA City Hall, I'm Craig Figner, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
12:05, time to say good afternoon. afternoon. That first traffic check of the afternoon. Manny Pacheco in the Simpson Chevrolet Traffic Center.
And good afternoon to you, Margaret. We're going to begin at Castaic 5 South between Parker Road and Hasley Canyon. One-lane block until 3 p.m. for roadway excavation. A little slow between the crossovers. Burbank 5 South at Burbank Boulevard. It was a car that hit the center divider. It's sitting right there, and it loads up past the tracks to the 134 and then into Los Feliz. That's a lot of volume through there as traffic loads up. Folks may be heading out early from their work as they approach the Easter holiday. South LA 110 north at Manchester was fire crews there on the scene of a brush fire adjacent to the freeway. Smoke wafting across lanes, and it is bumper to bumper from the 105. Pasadena 110 south from Fair Oaks to Orange Grove, one lane taken away. This is for a mudslide removal project, and Margaret, it's just a little slow right through the area.
Manny, thank you very much. The U.S. Justice Department is looking to move California's latest lawsuit against the Trump administration to New York. Governor Newsom and State Attorney General Rob Bonta, they are challenging President Trump's use of emergency powers to impose tariffs on Mexico, China, and Canada. The lawsuit argues that Trump does not have the authority to unilaterally levy those tariffs or create an across-the-board 10% tariff. Now, attorneys for the DOJ have asked that the case be transferred to the Court of International Trade in New York because they say it has sole jurisdiction over issues related to tariffs. Two Los Angeles City Council members, they are calling for the immediate return of a Maryland man who was wrongfully deported to that notorious prison in his home country of El Salvador. In a joint statement, Council members Ulises Hernandez and Hugo Soto Martinez expressed outrage by the Trump administration's deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. They said this is a gross violation of human rights and due process. Hernandez and Soto Martinez noted that L.A. is home to the largest Salvadoran population in the U.S., and they said if this can happen to Kilmar, a union apprentice, a father protected by law, it can happen to anyone. They also said they will not rest until Kilmar is free. Discontent with the Trump administration's immigration crackdowns is becoming noticeable on college campuses. Pete Demetrio reports UCLA students are concerned about the potential deportation of foreign students for no obvious reasons.
About 200 students and other protesters gathered in front of UCLA's Murphy Hall, angry at what they call the targeting of foreign students for deportation by canceling of student visas. Graham Blair, an associate professor of political science, says students were angered by the detention of a UCLA student by ICE officials at the Mexican border earlier this week, and he feels others on the campus have been targeted as well.
Among the thousands of students who've had their visas revoked across the country, there are about 20 at UCLA and about 200 across the UC system that have had their visas revoked.
Blair and other faculty members are convinced the Department of Homeland Security is canceling visas for the most minimal of legal reasons, including traffic violations, and although they can't prove it conclusively, they feel the UC system is following the same pattern as Columbia University, refusing to raise objections to policies from the government for fear of financial or other retribution. It remains to be seen if the objections of the student body and the canceling of visas for foreign students will intensify in the weeks ahead. At UCLA, I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News 97.1 FM.
The sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs, that's going to be going on as planned next month. A judge has denied the hip-hop mogul's request to delay the trial for 2 months. Attorneys for Diddy had said they needed more time to prepare after new charges were added earlier this month. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to federal charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. The trial is set to begin May 5th in New York. The family of a double amputee who was shot and killed by police in Huntington Park had a long sit-down with District Attorney Nathan Hochman as they seek prosecution of the officers involved. Brian Ping reports.
This meeting comes more than 2 years and 2 DA regimes after officers shot and killed wheelchair-bound Anthony Lowe while responding to a stabbing call. Lowe's sister Yatoya tells us the sit-down with Hochman lasted 3 hours and that she was surprised the family was able to make some headway.
Shout out to him, you know. It's like what they say, never judge a book by its cover. I was shocked that he even wanted to sit down and meet with us. I judged him on what I thought he would be, but what I can say is that him to come in office and sit down with my family, just sympathizing with us, and even how he was so well spoken to us. It's like he cared, and it's like he felt our pain.
Police contend Moe ignored their commands and threatened them with a knife before subduing him with a taser, though the family says no taser was used. I'm Brian Pink, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Trader Joe's is set to open 21 new stores this year, including 4 in California. The new one in Sherman Oaks on Riverside Drive, that recently opened up. Coming soon, a store in Northridge on Reseda Boulevard, one in Tarzana on Ventura, and a 4th in Yucaipa on Yucaipa Boulevard. By the way, Trader Joe's will be open regular hours on Easter Sunday. It's 12:11. Simmons Subaru is one of the largest volume Subaru dealers in the area, with more new Subarus available for you. Come in today or reserve yours online. Simmons of Long Beach. SimmonsSubaru.com.
House paint. It's a big bucket of denial. Painting over your home's exterior problems only makes things worse because beneath the new paint, your cracks are expanding, water damage is creeping up the sides of the house, and wood is rotting like bad fruit. Hi, I'm Steve, creator of Deluxe Life Coat. Unlike painters, we restore your home's exterior using our exclusive 12-step process. We water blast, repair every single crack and chip, and fix any wood rot so your house looks brand new. After we're done, you'll never have to paint your home again. That's why Deluxe Life Coat has the best lifetime warranty in the industry. It covers flaking, peeling, and yes, even cracking. What paint can say that? If paint has you in denial, you don't need a therapist. Just call Deluxe Life Coat.
Call now to get 20% off your order, plus no interest for 2 years. Call 800-978-2500. 800-978-2500. That's 800-978-2500. Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 1052855.
Right now, it's the best time to get laser eye surgery. That's because Laser Eye Center, the most trusted leader in LASIK, with their state-of-the-art 4D technology, are having a limited time special so you can improve your vision and save money. Within the next 30 minutes, Laser Eye Center is setting up free consultations for a limited number of LASIK procedures at 50% off and just $59 per month per eye with 0 down and 0 interest financing. Get rid of your
charm historically needs constant attention, which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store single-line activation on qualifying plans. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon. Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of Life Source Water. Did you know our cities add chlorine and chloramines to your water? And that's what you're bathing in, breathing in, and drinking every day. These chemicals are harsh on your health, your skin, and your hair. With a Life Source whole house system, you get clean, healthy water from every tap without salt or monthly filter changes. Don't wait. Call our factory for a quote at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com.
Warranty limitations apply.
Good afternoon, I'm Margaret Carrero. Coming up on KNX News 97.1 FM, a UCLA graduate student was detained trying to cross the Mexico border back to the United States. We go in-depth into the Trump administration's policies toward international students, plus President Trump standing firm behind his decision not to bring back a man from Maryland who was wrongly deported to El Salvador. That and more on the way for you right now, though, at 12:15. Traffic brought to you by Opio Law Injury Lawyers. Here's Manny Pacheco.
Well, it's a little slow on the westbound 10 approaching Cali Mesa and through Beaumont as you head into Coachella. Obviously, things starting to load up, but right now, most of the brake lights is if you're traveling out of Indio through Bermuda Dunes. It's a SIG alert on the 10 West at Washington. It was a jackknife big rig that happened this morning in lanes. Only the left lane is open. The Washington on-ramp is shut down as well. It is bumper to bumper from Monroe. The area expected to be cleared, hopefully by 2. India Boulevard, Country Club Drive. They'll get you around the incident. The 111 into Palm Springs works as well. Fullerton, 57 north at Nutwood. It's a 2-car wreck. Both along the center dividers, back up to the 90. You're traveling through Pomona, 10 east of Gary, the right lane. And the off-ramp shut down until 3 p.m. for tree trimming and a graffiti removal project. You are tapping on the brakes from Fairplex.
And if you're traveling through Santa Fe Springs, 605 north of Telegraph Road, it's a two-car wreck. Both in the fast lane. There is a separate crash on that northbound 605 at Florence, second lane from the left. They're taken away. The delay stretched back to the 105. When it comes to vehicle injury cases, OPO Law has decades of wins behind them. OPO fights relentlessly to secure the best possible outcome. If you've been injured in an accident or a vehicle crash, call 888-OPO-WINS, OPOLaw.com. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Simpson Chevrolet 24-hour traffic center.
Sky will clear later today and into the early evening hours. Highs will be in the 60s from the coast to the valleys, 40s up in the mountains, and little slight chance of showers, especially across the Inland Empire and some mountain communities. A warmer weekend ahead, temperatures rebound into the 70s, but dry conditions on tap for Easter Sunday. That's the next with the forecast. I'm KTEL News meteorologist Alex Bistin for KNX News 97.1 FM.
It's currently 61 in Arcadia, 58 in Mission Viejo, and 61 here on LA's Miracle Mile at 1217. No updates on the condition or status of the foreign graduate UCLA student who was detained at the U.S.-Mexico border while trying to re-enter the country. We talked with UCLA constitutional law professor Ariela Gross, who is highly critical of the Trump administration campaign to cancel the visas of foreign grad students.
It falls at the intersection of two really dangerous trends. One is the attack on universities, which I would say is actually an attack on civil society institutions more broadly. All of the institutions that could stand up to an authoritarian regime are the target of an authoritarian regime, and universities are a leading place for the production of knowledge, for truth-seeking, some of the things this administration doesn't like. It is also especially an attack on people who were born outside of the United States. Many of the people who at universities are leading contributors to our research, teaching, mission, valued members of the community, and the goal is to instill fear, terror.
Gross emphasized the value that foreign grad students bring to campuses like UCLA.
I think it's undeniable that in every area of research and teaching, you will find foreign students, leading the way. One of the great strengths of the American university system is that we have attracted people from all over the world. Many of them stay, build families, and contribute to the United States for the rest of their lives. Many of them also go home and are incredible ambassadors for the United States and build democratic institutions and higher learning in their countries as well. Both of those are invaluable contributions.
She promises that the protests against the arrest of this particular UCLA student and the Trump administration's overall attack on student visas will continue.
I'm encouraged that we are seeing people, faculty, students, administrators around the country starting to wake up to the graveness of this threat and to speak up and to work together. I think anyone who teaches at the university was thrilled and energized by Harvard University standing up to the Trump administration last week. I think that was a shot in the arm. So I think that we are going to see more backbone, I certainly hope so, from administrators who up till now may have been thinking, if we shut down, we can hide, maybe it won't come to us. This train is coming, and we can't hide from it, but we can stand up to it.
At least 1,000 foreign students at nearly 130 universities have had their visas revoked or their legal status terminated during this crackdown. 12:20 now. Ski industry resorts to snow farming. Here's Bloomberg's Denise Pellegrini.
Well, it won't exactly be Christmas in July, but a growing number of resorts are trying to keep the white stuff around at least until Memorial Day.
We continue to upgrade our snowmaking systems so that we can have, ideally, the longest season in the Midwest.
And to do that, according to Jason Pearl, general manager of Boyd Mountain Resort in Michigan, through something he calls snow farming. snow into big piles and then spray man-made snow on top of it.
That will stay there, and we will groom it and ski and ride on it just as long as we can.
Other ski resorts in the $59 billion U.S. industry are also deploying similar strategies, using sophisticated technology to deal with warmer than usual winters. Boyd Mountain's Pearl says warm rain is their biggest enemy, but he's hopeful.
It's exciting to know that no matter what challenges Mother Nature throws our way, we can come up with solutions to preserve the sport we love.
I'm Bloomberg's Denise Lakely from the California.
게임 시리즈는 뜻이 다 같이.ここにいてもしょうがなさそう。
It's 1 o'clock. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Tammy McCormick with the senator returning from El Salvador after meeting with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The administration is stepping up its accusations about the man who was mistakenly deported.
This is the man that the Democrats are wanting us to fly back from El Salvador to be a happily ensconced member of the USA family.
Reporter Linda Kenyon at the White House.
A judge had protected Garcia from deportation, citing a threat from El Salvador gangs, but the Trump administration deported him anyway, citing a clerical error. President Trump, though, maintains Garcia has no business in this country.
This man is according to certified statements that we get, is a very violent person.
And the president says that's not all.
He's an illegal alien MS-13 gang member.
Many Democrats and Garcia's family say he was not any of those things, and at the very least, he should be granted due process. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Stacey Lynn has the latest shooting yesterday at Florida State.
The alleged 20 and Phoenix Eichner remains in the hospital with significant injuries. But Tallahassee Police Chief Lawrence Rebel says once he's released,
he'll be taken to a local detention facility where he will face the charges up to and including first-degree murder.
As for a motive for the shooting that killed two,
at this point, there does not appear to be any connection at all.
Fauci, and arguing that a so-called laboratory leak is the true origin of the virus that caused the COVID-19 pandemic.
If you put off buying something because of the tariffs, you have lots of company, as business reporter Jason Brooks tells us.
Real estate firm Redfin says its survey of consumers over the past week found nearly 1 in 4 canceling plans to purchase high-priced items like homes or cars, while another 1 in 3 are delaying those plans, with consumers increasingly concerned about inflation and unemployment resulting from the tariffs.
The markets are closed for the holiday. This is CBS News.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
From the downtown
LA Law Group Injury Help Studios.
This is Southern California's news.
KNX News, 97.1 FM.
Good afternoon, I'm Rob Archer. Mayor Bass going to be giving her third State of the City address. The city's likely going to have to lay off thousands of workers because of that billion-dollar budget deficit. Craig Fichtner had a talk with the mayor.
So I'll be releasing the budget on Monday morning. We know that there is a very large deficit. We are working day and night to close that deficit as much as possible, because the last thing we would want to do would be to lay off city employees. But we have to look at all options.
It's been described as nearly inevitable by the city admin officer. Do you propose a budget, you think?
I don't know that I would call it nearly inevitable until we finish our work day and night to see. We have been bringing the deficit down, but it is still massive.
The mayor's State of the City address set for Monday at noon. Domestic violence suspect led LAPD on a wild high-speed chase from Hollywood to the west side today, swerving through traffic on the 405 before finally stopping in the Del Rey area. Started near Franklin and Hollywood Boulevard. The white Mustang hit speeds over 90 miles an hour. You heard about it right here on KNX. Police pulled the ground units, tracked the car from the air. About 11